Let's talk to Ryan Littlestone. He's a trader and analyst at ForexFlow.live. Very good morning to you, young Ryan.
Good morning, Mr. Batsford.
Right, two thought-provoking slides as always. Let's kick off with the first one, a 4-hourly chart of the US dollar against the Mexican peso. You've been short. What is your latest strategy?
Yeah, shorts are carrying on working. We had, we're up in the air still with all this trade war news, China, Turkey, you name it, NAFTA. And last week, we had further confirmation that a deal's likely to be done. So we're seeing this pair fall again, the Mexican peso strength on the back of that. We've got a key level down here, sort of the 85 handle and down to 80. And we're just not breaching that at the moment. And I'm hoping that, we get some final clarification that a deal is going to be done. We should get a push through there. Then I'll look to take profit on that move and see where we go from there. But it's been a good trade. And just one of the things when you're trading the news and trading events that are happening, you've got to sit and have some patience because it's out of your hands. So yeah, that's what I'm doing at the moment, and just hoping then the levels break. But it's looking pretty decent under 19 at the moment.
Okay, so basically you're short and you're happy to be short. When you get a good trade like this and you talk about patience, all right, does that mean that you sleep well at night, or in terms of your position, do you just know? Do you have a gut feel as a trader that you're on the right side of it?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in a trade since June, and a lot of the guys in the room, in our trading room, were in it as well. So it's only a small position left. It wasn't a big position in the first place, and I was slicing it all the way down. So I've pretty much, already made most of the money on it. I'm just waiting for this final shove. But when you do that and you've taken profit at various stages and you've re-added shorts and taken profit on those, you can sleep sound at night because you've had the money in the bank. So my stops are now well into profit. I can't lose on the trade. I can only give back some of the positive margin I've got in it at the moment. So, it's a bit different from if you're in a position you haven't taken profit and you're waiting on news or waiting on fundamentals. Yeah, gut feeling is a lot about it, but you've got that uncertainty, one headline or something goes wrong and suddenly you're stopped out and you've lost money. So it all depends on how you manage a trade. And recently in these markets, it's been a strategy that if I get in a trade and if it's in a half decent profit, even 10, 20, 30 pips within a short period of time, I'm slicing some off and banking it and, bringing my stops down and trailing them, because that's, as I say, on one headline, can completely be turned around and your stops hit.
Understood. Okay, let's have a quick wrap on the second slide. The US dollar against the CAD, again a 4-hour chart. What's your field position here?
At the moment, I was a seller last week up into the 132. As you can see from the chart, we had this short-term downtrend, this channel, and I was looking to sell up at that top of that trend line there, and also into the 132, 132.20. We were floating around there over just before the big CPI report last week, which obviously came out gangbuster. And you can't trade this currency, into big numbers like that really, because it's so volatile as we've seen. You can move 150, 200 pips on a single number.
Right.
But what's happened is, this number, 3% CPI and the core jump into 1.6, the highest in years, it's going to potentially shift the BOC into a more hawkish area. They're pretty sort of on their hands at the moment. So what we're seeing now, we're going to see the rallies in this pair probably sold quite heftily. We saw, last week's rally after numbers, we jumped to 131 and then straight back down to 130.50. And that's a key area at the moment. We're holding it, but the bounces are very weak. Up to the 70s, 20 pips. That's not a lot. So if that area breaks, then we're looking for a test on 131. That's potentially where I'd look to try and scalp along from the 130 area. But other than that, I'm a seller up into 131 against that trend line again.
Yeah, well, that all sounds pretty sensible analyses to me. Ryan, as always, thank you very much indeed for your time.
Cheers, Nick.